Side note, if you're wondering, why are you staring to the side all the time? This entire video, you're staring to the side. It's because I'm looking at myself and my monitor. My phone's right here. I'm using it as a webcam. And I don't like looking directly at my phone because I can't see myself and I can't see if I look nice or not. So, you're gonna have to deal with the 3/4 angle. Hello, my name is Toby. Today's video is a little different. As you can see my face, which, isn't a surprising thing really, but, for someone with a faceless persona, I'd say it's a bit shocking that I didn't go the route of a faceless YouTuber. But, those never stay faceless for too long, and I like oversharing and overseeing, so I think, really, I wouldn't have stayed faceless for too long. Also, you can get my face practically anywhere, so. Anyway, back to today's topic. As you can see in the title of this video, I don't like math. If you know me personally, I don't like math. I really don't. You'll hear me complain about it constantly. I hate math. Any synonym for hate that falls with math, I'll take it. I despise math. I don't know any more synonyms. I don't have a dictionary with me. But I hate it. It's half of it you really don't need to learn. Like, oh, thanks. I can use a compass now. I don't know when I'll need to do that in my day-to-day cubicle life that I'm probably gonna live. But I don't like math. Again, half of it you learn. Not useful in the slightest. Multiplication. Add, subtract, PEMDAS. That's pretty useful. Adding, if you want to be a cashier, which is like everyone's starter job. But half of the stuff we learn in math is not useful. It really isn't. Learning how to do a compass, how to use a compass, completely, almost utterly useless if you're not going into construction or architecture. Anything with that is almost completely useless. You're never gonna use a compass, probably. Or, I guess learning angles is okay, but I don't think anyone's carrying a protractor anywhere, which I have a protractor with me, because I need it for school. But one of the main things that I'd love to complain about in this video are proofs. Proofs, if you don't know, if you haven't gone to the stage in math, which you're lucky, pray for the day proofs are gone. But proofs are basically proving that something is what it is. For example, proving that a rectangle is a parallelogram. Now, you may be thinking, use common sense. It's parallel. No. You have to prove that there's something amount of right there. That's the list of proofs, or the column that you need to prove that a rectangle is truly a parallelogram, instead of, using common sense or proving a parallelogram or a shape is an actual parallelogram. Now, I think I'd get it if they changed the shape of a parallelogram. All parallelograms look the same. They look like this. You could change it. You could so easily change it into something that looks different. Something else that looks different and doesn't look like the same. It's the same thing every time. It's so utterly angering. And then the list of things that's like, okay, well, this is this theorem and this is this theorem. It's like, okay. But in a 2-column proof, which, by the way, there's multiple proofs. There's a paragraph proof, which is you proving it in a paragraph, obviously. Though I'd get if you didn't know what that is, because it sounds confusing. And then a 2-column proof, which seems easier to do. It's not. I don't understand it. And I've never even made one, if I'm being honest. I've never made one. Never. But it's so dumb. But there's those 2 kinds of proofs. There's like another proof that's so much I hate it. But it's this. I'm not gonna even explain it. But I find that more confusing because it's like a flowchart, and I don't even get flowcharts normally. So, you expect me to learn a flowchart that has math in it. Anyways, proofs. I hate them. Again, they're so useless. And in the midst of almost a panic attack, of a mental breakdown, I was like, why are these, like, one singular brain cell trying to cling on to the fact that maybe, just maybe, I could find a little bit of pity in these things, was one article that I found, and it was by this poor author that I don't remember the name because it was useless, that I'm sure was forced to write this. It was about why proofs are taught. It was like, one of the starting things was like, you may be wondering, why do we have to be taught proofs? Or why do you have to be taught proofs as a drama major? I'm not a drama major, but I'm sure this person was. And they had to write this for whatever reason. And I was like, well, proofs show up in day-to-day life, you know? It's like, yeah, I get that. You have to prove things. But why do I have to prove math? Are you telling me everything I've been taught in the past who knows how many years of being in school is actually false? Because it hasn't been proved to me in a 2-column way? Or, you know, you telling me something is something, but then you're like, oh no, you have to prove it though. I'm not gonna prove it to you though. You have to prove it to me, the person who already told you that it is. And thinking about it now, because I don't do scripts, this is kind of like tax. Like, okay, you have to do your tax because it's a government thing, right? But you have to figure out how much money you owe. You gotta figure that out. The government knows how much money we owe, but we're not gonna tell you. You gotta figure it out. Or if you want to hire someone for more money to figure out your taxes for you, because the government is like, like, you know this is true. You know how much money I owe. Why can't you just tell me? It's like, no, you gotta figure this out yourself. Because I don't. There are AIs that look like human beings, but I still have to figure out whether a rectangle is a parallelogram. Okay, alright. And again, this brings me back to a singular memory I have in math. All memories are bad. It's either me on the verge of tears trying to figure out some sort of pity to try and hang on to maybe this slight thing, like, this will be useful in life later. In my day-to-day end of my life job, maybe it'll be useful. It's not. And this all brings me back to one thing, which I can't remember now. Shoot. Oh no. Oh no. Oh. Sorry, I forgot what I was trying to talk about. It all brings me back to, like, a few months ago. This was whenever we were first using how to learn to use a compass, which is completely useless, because later comes in protractors. These things. And, you know, being a common sense person, not really most of the time. I don't use common sense half of the time. But when trying to make things easier for myself, I use common sense sometimes. And I was like, this would be so much easier if we could just use a protractor. And my teacher was like, no. You want to know why? I'm like, yeah. Why can't we use a piece of almost modern technology to make an angle, copy an angle? And I was like, well, this dude, which we're learning about now, he didn't have a protractor back then, so in this we have to use a compass right now, but later we'll use a protractor. I'm gonna just bring back the point that we have AIs that look like human beings. Uncanny Valley human beings at most, but still human beings. And you're gonna tell me I can't use modern technology because the student who knows how many BC didn't have one? Okay. Alright. Okay. Alright. Hate math. So they could be teaching so much things we could actually learn in adult life, We could be learning to do our taxes, learn about insurance, know how to do day-to-day things we need to do. But no, let's follow father geometry. If time machines existed, I would go back in time and smack him with a modern day ruler. I would. Hate math. Ow. This isn't the end of my math rants. I'm coming back to this. Whenever I find more things to complain about in math, I'm going to do it. I'm going to come back to this. Because math is useless. Most of it is. PEMDAS is like the only thing you need to do if you're not becoming a mathematician. And whoever becomes a mathematician was, I'm convinced, forced to be a mathematician. Side note, sorry for my bangs this video. They haven't been cooperating, and I spent 10 minutes this morning straightening them, and now they still aren't working, and now I have the weird emo cover my eyes thing. And yes, my earring is a retainer. Thank you for watching. And if you are still watching, why?